For some time now, we've been constantly reminded that Amber doesn't exactly make the best choices of friends. And now, it has come up again, as news of one of her closest pals being involved in some less than ideal activities has now taken over social media, and trust me, you do not want to miss this. So stick around while I give you a rundown on the full story. At this point, you can probably count all the people that identify as friends of Amber Heard on one hand, and the reason for that is because literally everyone that had supported her in the past has now changed their notion about her since it has been revealed that she is nothing short of an assaulter. But even with all of these factors, or should I call them bright red flags, some people have still been blindly following the actress, and one of those is Michelle Dauber. Dauber is a professor at Stanford University. She is also a longtime friend and supporter of Amber Heard, and let's just say she has been pretty vocal about her support for Amber Heard. Well, Dauber has now made the headlines on her own, and it just got revealed that she might have actually made a couple of unethical moves to keep her access to her social media platforms. And that's not all. It also seems that the professor has also been using that same influence to try to silence Depp supporters online. Specifically, reports are stating that the Stanford professor used the influence of her husband, who is a top executive at Google, to keep her social media accounts after she had been repeatedly blocked. And this revelation was made by none other than celebrity reporter Laura Bacall. In a Twitter post, she wrote, "White has also accused Dauber of getting her accounts suspended on Google, YouTube, and Twitter, alleging that she used insider influence because her husband Ken is a high-level Google executive, and Google owns YouTube." I know all of this might be a little confusing for some of you, so we'll just do a quick rundown of the full story. So, following the 6-week-long battle between Johnny and Amber in Virginia, with Johnny emerging as the winner, Dauber wasn't exactly thrilled about the outcome of the case, and let's just say she has been pretty vocal about her displeasure. In fact, Dauber was so pissed off that Johnny was able to beat all odds that she started going after members of his team. Specifically, she repeatedly trolled Depp's lead counsel Camille Vasquez. Taking to Twitter, Dauber wrote, "In a society that strips women of real power, some women have learned to seek male approval in the hopes they won't be assaulted or humiliated. Sucking up to power might feel good to you, but it won't work. You will be next." Continuing the thread, she shared an image of Camille Vasquez with the words, "Of all the women who suck up to male power, women lawyers are the absolute worst of the bunch." Desperate to prove they are real lawyers and understanding that being a woman undermines their identity as lawyers, they throw women under the bus as hard and fast as they can. Later, a Twitter user suggested that if the professor's son were accused of domestic assault, she would be happy to have Vasquez represent him. She replied, "If my son was accused of DV, he would have a lot more to worry about than some pick-me-girl lawyer." These tweets have been criticized by several professionals who had, at the time, been following the case closely, including Daniel Shensmith, a popular legal practitioner who also runs a YouTube channel explaining certain parts of the law to people. These attacks against Camille also violated some of the policies of the social media platform, and as a result, Dauber was supposed to be suspended, as this was only a tip of the iceberg of her attacks against Johnny and his entire team. But somehow the professor has managed to evade losing her account, which makes one wonder how she has pulled that off. Thus the news about her husband's influence to get away with it. But as they say, you can't escape karma forever, and this was the case with the professor, as reports have also confirmed that there is currently a petition for her to be stripped of her professorship position at Stanford. And according to the news, said petition already has the signature of over 3,000 people. Now, just take a wild guess at where all of this is going to end up. Well, finding out about how a professor at such a prestigious institution could abuse power so much was a pretty big deal for a lot of people online, and many of them took to social media to air their views. One user wrote, "So I need to keep that screenshot in case she uses her influence to take away my First Amendment rights to call her ass out." Another user made some other rather shocking revelations about her, saying, "There have been multiple complaints by alumni about Dauber. There have been multiple meetings about Dauber, but Mark Tessier-Levine does nothing. There have been multiple complaints about Dia Jeff Rosen and her collusion. They have all been ignored, stonewalled. From the looks of things, it seems Dauber's past might be slowly catching up to her. But let's just see how things will move." Tell us, what do you think about this latest revelation about Dauber?